Well, I'm working on a lot of small little things, each one of them not deserving of a video, but I thought I'd put them all together and call it Odds and Ends. Hope you enjoy. Here are the car cards that I use, and on each card is an actual picture of the piece of rolling stock. And how I get those pictures are simply this way. So I have a little clipboard. There's a little piece of wood on it. And I just take an 8.5/11 sheet of paper. And it makes a nice photographic background that I can edit and cut and paste. And so it ends up something like this. Well, I'm adding a little railroad name and number to this camera car that we crashed together in another video. When it's not acting as a camera car, it will be just part of the rolling stock as a flat car carrying this particular load. But I wanted to point out this. It's a handy little holder for your engines and rolling stock when you're working on them. This was just 3 pieces of plywood that I screwed and glued together, and then some pieces of exercise mat to add some cushioning. And I threw in a couple of extra pieces because there are times when you want to wedge things in and change their attitude slightly, or if the stock doesn't fit in there or whatever. So it's handy to have a few extra pieces of this laying around. So if you haven't bought one of these or made one yet, you probably will put this on your list for sure. Well, I want to change out the trucks on this little camera car. The trucks that came with it are like this. They have a little plastic post. It's kind of split. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. But anyway, they just fit into a large round hole on the bottom of the carriage. And so what I want to do is change them to a more conventional type truck, which is just simply flat on the top, and it uses a screw that goes down and screws into the undercarriage. These are a nice set of trucks that I bought, and they roll nice and free. Basically, I need to fill the hole that's in the bottom. So what I did was I took a small plastic paintbrush. It happens to have a tapered shaft on here, so you can get almost, many different diameters on one little arm. So I clipped off a small piece of it and epoxied it into that large hole. And then I took a 1/16 inch drill bit and drilled out a center hole so that the small little screw can fit in there and thread itself in. And after I glued that in, then I had to take a hobby knife and carefully flatten it out, cut off the excess plastic and a little bit of the excess glue and flatten that out. Yeah, these trucks are a lot smoother. If you're using one of the pre-printed backgrounds for the rear of your layout, and you don't want to use all of it, basically you want to cut the sky out and just use the hills and the land and the foreground part of the image, which I am. Here's one little trick that will help it to blend in. When you cut it, I first cut it with the scissors just generally, and then I go back and I trace around with a razor blade to get more of a jagged edge. When you're done cutting, even when you cut into the paint, you will see, I'll see if I can show this to the camera, you will see a bright edge that will really stick out. And so what I do is in this case for these little mountains here, I take a little bit of Q-tip with brown on there and I roll it on the edge, and it helps it to blend in. Then you don't see that bright area. In this area here, I haven't done that yet, and you can see the little white edge, and I'll take some gray and do that. And right now I'm just doing the brown in the green areas. And there you see how it blends into the background. Well, I hope these odds and ends gave you some ideas for your layout. Thanks for watching, and see you later.